Hey everybody, this is Sarah, the Catholic Homemaker. Today I'm doing another Lenten meal. I participated in a collab last week, so I'll link to that video in case you missed it. And in case you did as well, I talked about Catholic Lenten practices in there, so if you're curious about that, be sure to check out that video. Today I am making fried cod bites, and I'm making it from very healthy, wholesome ingredients. And I made it with a homemade tartar sauce, which I showed in the previous video. So that's another reason to check out that previous video so you see that tutorial. And also I made a side of broccoli that I got it from a frozen bag of broccoli, and I just sauteed it in some butter and salt, and I think I added garlic, and that was it. And I made it with rice as well, and I use organic white rice, but I rinse it under hot water and that gets rid of the arsenic better. And then I always cook my rice and grains and beans if I can in homemade bone broth. So before we get started with the video, I just wanted to emphasize the importance of cooking with healthy and wholesome ingredients, and especially cooking with healthy traditional fats like animal fats, pasture-raised animal fats, coconut oil, sustainable palm oil, avocado oil. And then if you are using things like dressings, that would be a good time to use olive oil, because olive oil is just not good to cook with. It doesn't have a high smoke point, but it's still a healthy oil to have. And then just avoiding industrial seed oils like cotton seed, canola, corn, or soybean. And then also sunflower and safflower are usually ones to avoid too, because they just can't be made at home in the kitchen from natural ways without heavy machinery. And so it's just healthier to stick to those traditional fats that our ancestors used. And I really think that that's the number one thing that Americans could do to improve their health and their diets, is to change their fats to healthy traditional fats. And things taste much better that way. And using wholesome ingredients, you will avoid more trips to the doctor. You will just be overall healthier. You'll spend less on healthcare. So that's definitely a great benefit there. And going back to using wholesome ingredients, just try to use things that are as unprocessed as possible, and use things that aren't refined or denatured. One example of this kind of food that may not be obvious would be a bouillon. A lot of people like to use bouillon to flavor their food. And the reason to avoid these things is because, as far as I know, all of them have MSG in them. Even if it doesn't say so on the label, it has MSG. I'm quite certain about that, unless things have changed in the past few years. I think even organic ones possibly do that as well. So it's just better to make your own bone broth, or there are some healthier ones that you can find commercially like Epic, but ones like that are usually a lot more expensive. Even if you are buying the cheaper ones at the store, it's still a lot cheaper to make your own bone broth from healthy animals, from pasture-raised animals. Even if you got like the most expensive bones out there, I think you would still it would still be cheaper, because you're using so much water to make bone broth with, and it's just so much healthier too. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what your favorite Lenten meals are, and let's jump into the video.
The first thing you will need is a pound of wild-caught fish. I am using cod. You will also need paper towels to dry the fish to ensure that the fish will be crispier as the end result. And I already did this. So now I'm just cutting the fish into bite-sized pieces. And you can use any kind of white fish that you would want. Just try to use wild caught fish if your budget allows it because it is much healthier for you. Now all the pieces are ready to go. I've already put pasture-raised lard in the pan to heat up, and I just showed you cassava flour. I put half a cup into a bowl, and I'm going to use a half teaspoon of Himalayan salt, or actually a whole teaspoon of Himalayan salt. And I've already heated up that fat on the stove, so I turned it off so it didn't start smoking. Next I'm adding freshly ground black pepper. Didn't measure it, but it might be around 1/4 teaspoon, but you can add it to your own liking. And I'm just whisking it together. That's our homemade pasture-raised lard that I'm holding up. Made from fatback. Here I have the stove on medium and our lard is ready to go. Now I have whisked a pasture-raised egg in there and we have our cod bites ready to go. So we're going to put those directly into the egg mixture first. There they are. Gotta make sure every side is covered. And once that is done, you want to roll those bites into the flour mixture. And this is a completely grain-free flour mixture, by the way, if you're trying to avoid grains. So it's a really great flour to use, and it's full of resistant starch, which is good for your gut. All right, back to the pan. It's ready to go. I'm just going to drop those bites into the pan. And they have a pretty good sizzle going. And fish cooks very fast, so you definitely want to watch it. Don't walk away. You will need to flip it pretty quickly. It didn't take very long. I think a couple minutes total, really. I'm just using tongs to flip everything. And I have a plate with a paper towel lined on there ready to go. And these bites are ready. You don't want to overcook fish. It won't taste very good. Okay, and you do the same with the rest of the batch. I hope you all are excited to try this recipe at home. Let me know what you think in the comments and what you like to make on Fridays. Hit the thumbs up if you liked this video, hit the subscribe button, and hit all notifications to know when I post. Until next time, bye, and have a happy and blessed Lent.